Hello everybody, it's your non-binary pal Gracious E.V.A. here, and before this video begins, I just wanted to say that I will be taking another break for at least a week or so I can get some more videos prepped for the new year. And also I am just going to be posting once a week instead of twice a week, just to make things a little easier on myself. So yeah, will be on Sundays in the morning. So yeah, with that out of the way, this is something that I did last year and kind of want to make a yearly thing where I look back at all of the things that I made for my channel this year and sort of go through and sort of like a retrospective way and talk about each one. I did this last year. What I'll do is I have all the artworks that I have up on my program here, and I also have my YouTube channel here, so you can also look at the thumbnails. And this year I will also have little snippets of the speed paints, or of the actual video, playing by the side probably while I'm showing the artworks. If it's a speed paint, it'll be speed paints. If it's a little animation, maybe a little clip of that, just as a little reminder of what the video was like, or a little preview. So let's get started. Our first video of the year was my redraw of my first ever digital drawing, and that was received really well, which I'm really happy about. And yeah, I still really love the artwork. There are some things now that I've worked on this year that I probably would have done differently, mostly just in the face, but other than that, everything else is really pretty. I still really like it a lot. I think it turned out really well. Next up was the promo for Lost Hearts, the announcement, with the panel redraws, or the sticker drawing, and also the behind the pages where I actually redrew some of the panels. That was really cool to do this year. Next up was a Chilsby paint in Strawberry Kaya, or my version of him. Fun fact about this video: right before I was going to record it was when MatPat retired, or announced that he was going to retire. Like right before, like in the description feed, just goodbye internet right there. And I think I watched it afterwards because I really needed to get it recorded. I think I watched it afterwards, but I'm not sure if you can hear it in my voice, but I was really shaken while like recording it. I was like, oh my god, what? I tried to like stay calm and stuff because I didn't want to seem weird or anything, but yeah, it was, if I seemed a bit shaken, that's why. Next up we have our first animation of the year, the Choice animation remake. I still like how this looks. I think it was good, and I liked working on it a lot. A lot more complex animation that I hadn't done before at this time. Obviously now I actually have done quite a bit of animation this year. I did like a summer animation class, so I might share some of my animations from that. Next up we have the Rosaline Pearl character designs, or redesigns, which was also this video. It was really big. It went super well. Yeah, I've actually noticed that a lot of times my character design and animation videos will do really well, so I might try doing more of that this year, because honestly those are actually my favorite type of videos to make. I love character designing, and getting to talk about my characters and doing animations are fun, so if you see more of that, that's why. But yeah, we have Rosaline, Saying, Captain, and Shida. I still like all of their designs. The only thing, I mean, Rosaline's I still really like, and I do love Saying's as well. I think Captain, I kind of wish I gave them a bigger hat. that's really the only thing though. And then after that, we have another animation. It was the 2-time animation. This one actually was a lot simpler to make than this one. I think I had made this right after making the choice one. Yeah, it was pretty good. I think I remember maybe getting a bit tired of it at the end, but yeah. And the thumbnail is literally just a screenshot that I rendered a bit more, so yeah. Next up we have is Coffee Xavier drawing, and my first ever moving illustration. I still really like how this turned out a lot. I love the colors and the contrast of the colors. I think it works really well. And yeah, I think it captures the feeling of the original while still like improving upon it. And it has his new design as well. Next up we have my first, was this my first? I think my first traditional art speed paint. I still like how it looks, and so that kind of pulls it back from me a little bit of some of the anatomy in it, but I still like the painting overall, like the techniques and the blood splatters. I think I did really well. I'm surprised I was able to get that really well without it bleeding too much, but yeah. Next up, we have our reintroduction to Lai, my redesign and drawing him. Yeah, I want to do more stuff with Lai this year because he's my favorite and I love him, and you're going to hear more about him. And I might do, I know I talked about him quite a bit in that video, but I might do a whole video not just talking all about him, like his design progression, exactly where he came from in my mind, and his backstory and all that. That'd be really fun to do. Next up, we have Hua Chang and Jilan fan art, scratch art fan art, which is actually still my wallpaper. It is still my desktop wallpaper. Yeah, I still really like how this looks. I love I didn't do, other than this, I didn't do any other scratch art, and I'm upset because I like doing scratch art. But yeah, it looks, I like how it looks. Next we have North, or my drawing of my unicorn satyr OC North, which I have actually finally made a full character design and rough sheet for. I'm going to talk about them more in the future, as well as the whole story that I want them to be in. But yeah, I this was their first ever version of them, and I still love this one. This one is, I like the colors and the dapple light and all of that. It's very nice. Next up we have my Farina video drawing her as her. I'm not the biggest fan of this now, just because the shading is a little bit muddy for my taste, but that's fine. And then we have Demon Fossilor. I'm not the biggest fan of what I did for the background on this, but I still love the design, and not just design for her, but also the puppet Farina. Yeah, I like this design. Out of all the demon archons that I've made so far, she's probably my favorite design and concept wise. Yeah, I just like how that turned out. I will be doing Mavuika. However, I have some things about her design that I honestly just, I want to redesign her. I don't want to draw her base design. I want to redesign her base design and then make her demon design. We also don't know, do we know what her demon name is yet? Or archon name? I haven't played Genshin in so long. I don't know. But yeah, I'll do that soon. But yeah, this was the last Genshin Impact Archon's demon thing that I did, and it's still my favorite. Next up we have Silver's video. They got their whole own video where I talked about them as well. It wasn't so much as a redesign video because their design hasn't changed, as it was, yeah, like a reintroduction video, because I had made another video before in the past talking about them when they were like really like early in my mind. So yeah, that was nice to do. I was not the biggest fan of this artwork now, but yeah, it's alright. Next up we have this one. This was just a chill speed paint of my character Aries in like a different or different design, slightly different design. But yeah, overall, yeah, I still really like how this looks. I think the only thing for me, honestly, might be a bit too purple, but even then, I don't think so that much. Next up, we have my pre-cure video. The where I made my own pre-cure team. I'm actually really glad that this did better. I honestly didn't expect it to, because I think pre-cure in the US is it's not as big as it is in Japan, but yeah, I think people liked it, and I still like them too. Cure Equinox, Cure June, Cure Breeze, and Cure Blizzard. Yeah, I like how they all looked, and the theming between them. Yeah. Next up, we have Shield Speed Paint, and the Shield Speed Paint of Blade, drawing Blade from Honkai Star Rail. Yeah, I think the drawing looks cool. Yeah, it looks cool. I think it looks cool. I like the frames. I like the frame. Next up is Lucid. I actually want to make another video on them, because I have just recently changed their design quite a bit. So yeah, I might make another design video in the future. Lots of character design videos. Next up, we have another Chill Speed Paint video, but this one also did really well. I think it's just because it's these two in the thumbnail. But yeah, Caption in Shido. I actually had to adjust the colors on this. My colors were looking pretty strange at the beginning of the year, so I had to adjust some of the colors that some of the artworks I had already made, but I haven't needed to do that since, so yeah, I fixed it. Yeah, I still think that looks pretty cool. My first gouache painting. Yeah, this one looks really good after looking back on it. I think it looks really neat, especially for my first time doing gouache. I think it was really good. My 10 art style videos, I just did the big portrait thing instead of every individual one. Yeah, I still really like how a lot of these styles look. I think my favorites are the Land of the Lustrous one, the Amori one. I think that one looks great. I think my Genshin Impact one actually looks really accurate, and I like my Calvin Hobbes one. That one's cute. Yeah, I like how all of them look. Next up, we have this piece, my Metamorphosis artwork. Some of my non-binary themed artworks. I like how this looks still. I think what the head looks a bit strange to me now, but I think it looks. I like the design and the concept. Next up was the announcement for the Mysteries of Dysteria shirts. There they all are. You can get these on my Etsy shop. Next up is another non-binary themed artwork. I think this one's probably my favorite of this year. I just love it. I loved working on it. I love the design. I love the colors. It's just, I really love it still. Yeah, you can go check that out if you want to, because I really loved working on this. Next up was my self-portrait one. This one was a bit more personal, talking about my experience being non-binary. So yeah, did that towards the end of, or posted that towards the end of Pride Month, I believe. Next up was a video talking about my my D&D character Kenta. I unfortunately haven't played Kenta in a bit in the campaign we were playing, but I still really love him, and I still love drawing him, and yeah, he's just, I just love him a lot. This was also the first artwork of the year where I really went more into the hatching shading and a bit more detail in the eyes, and I really like how that looks. Next up was this artwork. I will say I do really like how the shading looks, and yeah, I really love how the shading looks on this, actually. I think it looks really cool. Or like the contrast. I like contrast. I like when things are contrasty. That's what I like. But yeah, other than some of the anatomy issues, I do like how it looks. This one is one of the sketchbook spreads from my first ever sketchbook tour video. I was really excited to finally post that and make that because it was something I was wanting to do for a while. And my second sketchbook tour is on the way. Yeah, so keep an eye out for that. Next up was this other artwork of Aries, my character Aries, that I did this year, which was a lot more of a liminal piece. This one I also really loved working on and doing. It was also another one that I had to adjust the colors for because the first pass was really purple. But I like how it looks now. It's very liminal. Oh, oh my god, I completely skipped over a video. When I announced doing Art Fight, I talk about that a bit more in a separate video, and I'll go over it a little more again when we get to the artworks of that. So anyway, yeah, I made the announcement for it first, and then the behind the pages, which you should check out. I think you should do that. And you could get Mysteries of Systeria on my Etsy shop, and you can still get Lost Hearts there as well. After that, we have another character design video, making butterfly themed Femboy Nights, butterfly and flower themed. I still like how a lot of these look. The reason why I'll often create like I'll draw these character designs like this as sort of like a mini rough sheet way is so that I can draw them in the future for fun. And then we have Monarch as well, who I like to draw a lot. Next up is another chill speaking video. Just a drawing of one of my characters. This is Zane. Zane has actually also gotten quite a bit of a redesign recently, so I'll talk about that too. Lots of designs to talk about. Next one is my favorite piece that I did for Art Fight. Like I said, I did a lot of artworks for Art Fight this year, and I had a really fun time. I made some, there was a lot of really cool characters that I got to draw this year. It was really fun, and I'm excited to document it again next year, or this year. It is this year currently. Next up was my planets video, my big one that had taken me years to work on. Well, not years, but like it did take me a good couple years. And then after that, we have a little background, a little room designing video, because I had done one of those the year before and I wanted to do one again, and this was the only one that I did this year. Whoops. But yeah, I still like how this looks a lot. And I'll definitely use this design for the finished project that this is for. Probably. I don't mind how low res this is. I am sorry about that, but this is another traditional art speed paint video. It was both gouache and watercolor this time, so that's fun. Next up, we have this trans themed artwork. I still like how this looks. I think I could have done a little bit more on the effects, but I think it looks good. Next up, we have another chill speed paint. This was me trying to practice like hair, it being very flowy, and I like how it looks. I brought back a little bit of like that overpainting thing with the hair strands that I used to do for this, to give it more depth. Next up, we have these traditional artworks, which were creating artwork with just my colored pens for the line art. I used my Fairy Night characters for this. These are still in my sketchbook, and yeah, I really like how they look. They'll make an appearance in my second sketchbook tour video. Next up was my Sona redesign, when I remade my Sona and did some other adjustments to my channel. I think that I still like their design, and I like the new things that I do for my channel, like the frames and stuff and the animated background. Yeah, I think it looks neat, and I like my profile picture too. Next up we have my drawing of Freerun, which I used to do to explain my line art process. And yeah, I like this one still too. I think the colors are very nice. Next up we have my little tribute. Now I didn't actually talk in this one. I had just, or I think I maybe talked a little in the beginning, but I didn't talk in this one. I just let the speed paint play and use some of my own piano in the background, piano playing in the background. And yeah, I really love how this artwork turned out. It's very green, but I kind of balanced it out. You could see towards the top where the sky would be a little bit of like a sunset color scheme going on there, so I think that kind of balances out all of the green. And I didn't explain it, I don't think I explained it, but the big light here, the light that they're supposed to be looking at is related to the last panel of the entire series, which was a comet. And I don't want to give any more spoilers beyond that, but yeah, that's what that is referencing. Next up we have this drawing of Leo. I actually forgot to title this video for the longest time and just had it as the video file. Whoops, my bad. But yeah, I like this one. I like the colors are very nice, and the hair, it looks pretty alright despite it being white, and I have a hard time shading white here. Next up we have another traditional speed paint. We have our little autumn fairy, where an incident almost occurred on the edge of the page. But yeah, I really like how this looks as well. I like the shimmers are nice. Next up we have my manga video that took me a year to make, but yeah, if you have read the one-shot manga, you I hope you liked it, and if you haven't yet, you can read it on Webtoon and Tapas. The whole thing will be there. Next up we have Lai, draw a little drawing of him as a little succubus demon, and I also did this as a moving illustration. Yeah, I like how this looks. I didn't realize until exporting these that the second one, his tail is actually in a different position, but I actually kind of like that because even though they're just the still frames, you can get a sense of how it would be moving. Next up we have my Tombstone video where he talked about my trip to Tombstone back in like 2022, and I even used an artwork that I made in 2022, which I still like, and that's why I have it up here for you to see. Next up we have when I drew Hatsune Miku as a little monster for Halloween. Yeah, very nice. I think some of the form got a little bit lost, like in the face got a little bit lost with the shading, but other than that, I really like it, like all the purple that I used. And then we have the Autumn Forest speed paint that I made based off of my trip to the Redwoods in Portland, and I used North again, second North appearance in this video, and then some random pixeling character on the branch there. Yeah, this is another one I actually had to fix the colors for because it was like way too red and orangey, so I had to go back and change the colors a little bit before showing that video. Next up we have Xander, a little drawing of him as a vampire, my character. This one was meant to be for Halloween, but I didn't end up doing that, so I had to post it a little bit after Halloween. But yeah, next up we have another chill speed paint video. This one was based off of an outfit I saw on Pinterest, and I said to use Chris for it. I have also redesigned Chris recently. Next up we have our Untrust animation. This song has actually been like a song that I was wanting to make an animation for the longest time, and I finally got around to doing it. I used my characters from a very specific story I'm working on that I will be finally talking about in length this year. Yeah, the animation I liked working on. Again, I got a bit tired of working on it towards the end, but I think it still looks cool. Next up we have this traditional speed paint that I think I made because I was working on other stuff and I needed something to fill in the space, so I posted this one. Next up we have my fan art of Rappa from Honkai Star Rail, which yeah, it's probably one of the most colorful pieces I've worked on, and definitely pushed my knowledge of color theory and lighting for this, but I think it turned out really neat. Next up we have my little Death Kiss speed paint. Yeah, I just really like the artwork of this. This one might be one of my other favorites that I've made this year. Then we have this one, the Flowers for Blank artwork, that was based off of a Twitter image. Even though I'm not on Twitter, I saw someone post it on Instagram, and yeah, that happened. Yeah, I like how this one looks too. It's very simple, but I think it gives off a similar vibe to my other one, but in a different shading style, which I think is cool. Next up we have a blueberry version of Lie with markers. I think the lighting on this in the video turned out better than previous ones of mine. I tried to fix it a little in post. So yeah, I think hopefully that looks a little better. Then we have our little color practice video where I did you use this character and I did different color combinations. I have just one up here, but yeah, there was like 3 other color combinations, and I just posted that a couple weeks ago. And then the last video of the year was my Boot Hill fan art, drawing Boot Hill, and kind of talking about how I kind of failed at first, but then I completely redid the drawing and it turned out much better. Yeah, that was all of my full-length videos of the year. Now let's go over some of the shorts I made this year, because I made some shorts. The first one was just a promo for Lost Hearts. The second one was a little like meme thing. I did a couple of like these little silly animation ones, and I want to do more of these because I think that's a good way to like explore your characters. But yeah, I did this one, which was for an audio that was trending at the beginning of the year. Then I did my Argenti speed paint. That was the only artwork I did of him this year, which is sad. Then I did a drawing of E.V.A. as like a Playboy bunny, which was based off of the Hatsune Miku song. I'm forgetting the name of it that had come out at that time, and so I made that for it. Yeah, and then I did another silly animation with Thorin and Cozy, which I believe was like a J-Schlatt audio, but it was so fitting for them. I had to make an animation for them. Then we have another promo. It was for the Mysteries of Hysteria Kickstarter, and we have 3 whole speed paints in a row. We have these this Kenta one that I had made. I made a lot of these short animations that I make or short speed paints that I make, by the way, are made in Ibis Paint. Either that or in Clip Studio with just the time-lapse thing. So one for Kenta, and then my Halloween ones, Lucid, and then my little Vampire Sona. Need some merge drawing that I had made, and then my Christmas animation speed paint that I had made. Yeah, that was everything that I had made this year. Usually I would talk about my New Year's goals and stuff like that, but I think this video has gone on long enough, so yeah, I will leave it there. Thank you so much for watching this. You can watch all of these videos if you'd like to. They are on my channel, and yeah, I will have more for this year, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!